Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. My name's Neil and I have no idea what I'm doing, but I do know what I'm trying to do. So I've got no idea what I'm going to talk about today. I'm making this video on the Sunday and I'm trying to maintain consistency in my life across many things. Consistency being the key goal for me at the moment. I I was going to talk about the projects that I'm working on, but at the moment I'm still suffering from this crisis of creative faith, if you like. I'm going through real ups and downs. As you saw a few videos back, I had this problem with AI and its effects on creativity, and I didn't really see the value in creating anymore. I don't think that I think that the AI problem that I discussed previously was more of a catalyst for something I've been struggling with for a while rather than it having anything to do with AI. At the moment, trying to find this balance, trying to find this consistency in my life, in the ways that I'm trying to find that consistency, the creative side of what I do feels very low on the scale of importance. If my health is no good, what's the point in me creating things? If my health is no good in a way that I can improve my health, what's the then when you look at the two things side by side, it's like, should I create a comic? Should I take care of my health? Well, of course, I should take care of my health. But that's the same for many things. This caravan and the state it's in. I have a job that pays me, and so bills get taken care of. That job is only part-time because I'm very fortunate in the fact that I only need the part-time work right now. That job has the potential to go on and be full-time, but equally, when I took that work again, it was because I was, and I took it part time because I was also trying to do my own projects. And that is still something that I am trying to come to grips with, as in, are those projects important or are they not? Because at this point, creating a comic about people with superpowers fighting cosmic entities doesn't seem to hold any value right now. It's not like I'm trying to draw a comic of my autobiography to leave some sort of mark, or to write and draw a comic that in some way can help people struggling in some of the ways that I'm struggling. And therefore, when I look at the comic, there is so much entertainment media that's put out there, both good and bad. It feels like throwing my hat into that ring when there's so many other things I could be taking care of. That just doesn't, I'm finding it hard to prioritize that. And the same can be said for all of my other projects, the role-playing games, the board games, and all of those things. When there is so much good and bad quality content being released in those fields, I'm finding it hard to see the value in those versus the other stuff in my life that I need to take care of. And even without the other things in my life that need to be taken care of directly, my health, sorting out this caravan to being more livable, then there's also the life that needs leading and enjoying, right? Getting out there and seeing the world and having experiences and all of those things. And so at the moment, I am having a struggle with creative faith in my own creative abilities, and faith in the things that I was trying to create. On top of that, you can't see it, it's over there. My iPad died this week. It's a funny way of phrasing that. Sadly, my uncle passed away last night. My dad's brother. I'm not close to my extended family in any way, shape, or form. But of course, it's still extremely sad. I haven't really stopped to process that one now that I've mentioned it. because I was visiting a friend last night. They're just, man, the last few weeks have been weird. I'm not going to talk about my friend who I visited last night because I don't know how he would feel about me talking about our friendship, both what he's going through and where our friendship has been and where our friendship currently is. And so until I've spoken to him about that, I wouldn't feel comfortable speaking about that on this. But to have been in that environment and having the conversations that we were having, and then to get the message from my dad saying that my uncle had passed away. While I was talking with my friend and I mentioned it, I kind of glossed over it. And I think I put it away because I wasn't in a position where I felt comfortable processing it properly. Maybe I don't now. And this feels like a weird place to be talking about it. But as I've mentioned before, this working on these videos has almost become like some kind of mild therapy for me at a time when I'm having problems with some stuff in my life, like personal problems for myself and some extended ones. And so the thing with my uncle, I don't want this to sound cold-hearted, but it's the truth. I love my family, including my extended family, but I'm not close with any of them. I've traveled for so long. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw my uncle. Actually, I could tell you the last time I saw my uncle. But it's been a while. And before that time, then I definitely couldn't tell you the last time I saw my uncle. But even the last time I saw my uncle, it was years ago. And before that, it was probably into the decades. So there's not a close relationship. But I remember having a conversation with my dad in recent memory where we were talking about my uncle, because my uncle's been ill for a while. And my dad was talking about how sad he finds it that if my uncle was to pass away, that my dad would be the last in his family. And how weird that was. I just don't know what I'm doing with my time, you know. And this is the problem with the creative faith, to get back to that, because I weigh up time as the commodity that it is. And it's like, why would I spend my time writing and drawing a comic about superheroes fighting technical monsters, or role-playing games about that stuff? And so this is the difficulty of where I'm at. It's like I don't really know what I'm doing, but like I said, I know what I'm trying to do. But anyway, to get back to what I was talking about, my iPad died. My iPad, that's the way you phrase it, right? My iPad died. But my iPad dying seems like such a, to use that word to describe those things, it feels so disrespectful. But it is the phrase we use, and you can't tread on eggshells and all of those kinds of things. So anyway, my iPad crashed and it's not recovered. And it had a huge amount of work on it of my own. The first panic when it happened was I lost the work that I've been working on for Warcradle, the company that I work for. And we were on a deadline of sorts, and that work was needed for it. And I hadn't backed that work up properly. I'd become complacent with the iPad. The iPad has been rock solid. I've been using it for like 9 years, 10 years maybe, somewhere between 8 and 10 years. And I have never had an issue with it. The biggest issue I ever had with it is an app would crash and I would lose a couple of hours of work. And so I back my iPad up in a way where the iPad has a trouble with PCs. And no, the iPad can have a trouble with backups to PCs through iTunes. And so I don't back it up that way. I back it up manually. I drag all the files off and I put them onto hard drives and I keep them stored, and I do that manually. But I do it on a project by project basis because I've never had a problem with it. It's fine to take a project to the end and then I drag the project files off of the iPad and I save them on there. And because of doing it that way, it meant because this project wasn't finished, when the iPad crashed irrecoverably, there's no way of getting to those files. And so when I first found out the iPad had crashed, my first concern was this work. But then I started to realize that no, actually, I've got other files that are only stored within apps that are now irrecoverable, unrecoverable. I don't know what the word is, but you know what word I mean. I can't recover those files. And that's work to do with some of the games. It's some of the work to do with the Jules comic. It's pigeons on the roof, if you can hear that running around. And that's files that I won't get back. Now I've got, I haven't lost the bulk of any of that work, but I've certainly lost some of those files and some of the ideas that I was working through and some of the stuff that I was working on. And again, it kind of puts into context some of the oddities of what I'm going through at the moment, certainly surrounding my own ideas and my own projects. So I don't really know. This video was supposed to be about those projects, just a brief rundown of the stuff that I'm trying to make. And part of that video was discussing how I find my way through to prioritizing each of the projects so that I can get one finished, move on to the next, work on the next, and try and find some kind of priority ordering for those projects to get those projects done and out. That's part of what this channel was meant to be about. But the more I work on this channel, the more I'm realizing that some of that stuff isn't, it's not as simple as I'm just going to work on these projects and here I am, I'm going to talk about it. Now, in the last video, somebody did make a comment that I agree with, which is like, I'm hyper fixating on AI. And he also said that AI is garbage, which I don't agree with. If AI was garbage, nobody would be worrying about it. It's just that simple. No artist feels threatened by art. No artist feels threatened by artists who aren't good. That doesn't matter whether it's coming out of an app, a piece of software, or out of a person. AI is not garbage. It's just not. It might feel garbage now, but then that's just because there's a lot of garbage people using it. But once people get used to using it more, and once people know how to curate it, then no, it's not going to be garbage. The ideas might be garbage, but the end result won't be. And that adds to this problem. But one of the reasons I am hyperfixating on it at the moment is because it is important and it does impact everything I'm trying to do, both on a commercial level, like on a professional level, so far as the companies that I work with, but also on a personal level, as in AI can be an amazing tool if I want to use it to help me create my own projects as well. Right? It's not just the fact that AI is going to kill my job. It's the fact that AI can then help me make my own work. I don't know in what way, and I don't know how I feel about that, but that's the truth. And so, as I say, this week, this video, I don't know how long this video has been going for because my iPad died and I haven't got a timer running anymore. But I'm going to wrap this video up in a minute because what I wanted to do was make sure I got a video made and it was uploaded by Monday. That's the thing. One video every week, which means there has to be another video by the next Monday. Now, the consistency of me going to the gym has fallen off this week, sadly, although I have still exercised twice this week, started my climbing lessons as well, which I found phenomenal. And I will talk about in other videos at some later point. But yes, I started my climbing lessons this week. And I also spoke to a personal trainer about helping me with my fitness goals. So it's not that it's completely fallen off, but where I went to the gym on Monday and then I went climbing on Tuesday, since then, life got in the way, as it always does. But that's because my life isn't organized well enough to make sure that life doesn't get in the way of me doing these important things. And at the moment, my fitness is very high on that list, which has been highlighted by the situation with my uncle. Life, time, it's a funny thing. As you get older, how you view time. If we went back 25 years, how I viewed time up until this point, compared to how I view the next 25 years at this age, I don't know. I don't know. But as I said, these are a lot of the things that I'm trying to come to terms with. And it's funny that these early videos were meant to be me getting used to using the camera and the equipment and uploading and consistency. And part of the channel was always meant to be this much more vlog, I guess you'd call it, life, my own personal life comment. But that's become, the more I do these videos, the more I'm realizing that this outlet is becoming extremely beneficial to me at the moment. Now, coming videos, I am going to change the format a little bit. I am going to find a way to actually do art on screen. If I'm going to sit and talk to the camera, I would rather do that while I'm drawing something, because there's plenty of things that I need to do that need drawing. And I realize that people do enjoy seeing that stuff. The guy that pointed out in the comments that I was hyperfixating on AI also asked me questions about the artwork that I was doing. And I think that it would be I think that is a thing that I should address, seeing as that's what a lot of people know me for, regardless of whether I'm having a crisis of creative faith or not. I am still a creative person in here somewhere, regardless of how unhealthy that relationship with my creativity does feel, which was another thing that was highlighted this weekend about how little worth I put in my creativity, which, as I mentioned, another friend, not the friend that I saw this weekend, also pointed out to me a few weeks ago. But I feel like a creative person, whatever that means. I don't know what that means, but I know that I feel that in me, a need and a want to create. Anyway, I just wanted to make a video, and I just wanted to get some stuff off my chest, I guess. And so now I've done that. I'm not going to make much of an edit to this video, but I think I will put an opening card and a closing card. I don't think there'll be a time lapse with it. It feels oddly disrespectful given some of the stuff that I've talked about. I don't mind an opening card and a closing card, but a time lapse, given what I've been talking about, does feel inappropriate. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. My name's Neil. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm figuring out what I'm trying to do. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.